Yes. So let's get started with your real-time experience, like your exam day. How did you prep for your exam day? What all were the things? What were the things? I mean, how did you feel a day just before your exam?
I was a bit worried and a bit anxious also because obviously it is my first SAT exam, and then everyone has been telling me it's a very important exam because it's going to determine which college and how your life is going to proceed. So obviously I was a bit nervous, but at the same time I was a bit more relaxed because I knew I had done a lot of training. But I could have done more, and in the future I will do more. But before the exam day, I think I was a bit worried and I was a bit stressed also.
Okay. All right. And what did you do a week before the exam? So that complete entire week that you had just before the exam, how did you prepare yourself?
So the complete week before, I had to take this very seriously because we had exams just before that. Therefore, I took
Yes.
the whole week off for practicing the SAT, and I would just ask my dad to get question papers from somewhere, and every day I would finish one mock test and see how I would do, and based on that, I would try to improve myself in the certain areas which I've not done that as much as as better as I could have.
Okay. So since you mentioned about the mock test, how important is it to write mock tests and how important is it to analyze the mock test on your own? So how
I
important are
would
these two things? Yeah.
I would say that this is the most important thing to do for practice in the SATs, because you could just do questions one by one here and there, and that yes, you can solve them, but it doesn't really give you the real time experience, the real time stress of when you write the exam. So you really won't know. But on the other hand, when you actually do these mock tests all together and then you score them and then you see how your scores are going, and you then you can easily tell if you're doing well or if you're not doing well. Otherwise, it's just doing questions, and if you get it right, you're like, yes, I can move on to the next one. But then that's not really how practice should be. You should try to replicate the environment as close as possible.
Yeah, that's right. So even I think, I too suggested you guys to kind of, write more and more mock tests because that whole experience of sitting, without break for that entire stretch of so long and writing the mock gives you a real time experience, right? Yeah, you have
Yeah.
that experience. Okay. So now the day of your SAT exam, how did it, I mean, how did it go? How did you prepare yourself starting from the, did you go and check your venue before writing the exam?
Um, yes, I had checked everything to make sure nothing was wrong and I had the right place, the right time. I also rechecked all of my equipment just to make sure I bought everything, including calculator and pencils. Yeah, that's all the prep I've done before I left.
Okay. What were the things or what were the items that you carried for your SAT exam?
I only required a pencil, an eraser, and a calculator. I didn't really require anything else except maybe water.
Okay. All right. So how was the experience on that particular day?
So when I first attempted it, when I first opened the booklet and started doing the questions, it was very different because in this environment, there's other people doing tests around me, and then there's an actual person looking after me in front of me. All of this made me a bit stressed, and I wasn't able to focus for the first few minutes when I was doing the questions. I got a bit panicked, and then I tried doing my best at that time, but I couldn't. But then afterwards, I relaxed a bit and then started doing them one by one. And then I was able to solve the questions and I was able to make it in time.
Okay. All right. So so you had an invigilator, I guess, right? There was a person who was basically invigilating or monitoring all of you. You had the
Yeah.
other people also in the
Yeah, I had a few friends of mine in the center as well, and they were writing, one of them was writing the same classroom as me.
okay. All right. So how long was the paper? I mean, so like after the exam, what did you do? I mean, did you just
Um,
hmm,
After the exam was supposed to be 3 hours long, but then they actually gave a few breaks in between, which did
hmm.
extend the time by maybe an hour or so. But then after the exam, I was done with it. I was a bit happy. I was like, yes, finally my SAT is over. I can go enjoy now. And then my dad was already there, so I just went up to him and told him it was over, and it went great. And then from there, it was great because I know I just finished one of the most important exams, and now I could rest.
Yes, right, right. So SAT definitely, was one, the training and then writing the exam. This was one sort of, I think, a lifetime experience kind of a thing. One of the most important experiences and one of the most important exams which could actually decide your future, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.